Wondering, how long were you into throwing pots before you were able to throw an advanced pot like that?
I really don't know for sure, and you never reach a point where, you know.
Was it the next day or 6 months later or years later?
I'd say years later. I tell people that if I put the number of hours into concert piano, practicing, that I could have been very good at that instead of putting that number of hours in clay. I was very lucky.
And would you say that you put maybe 10,000 hours into learning to throw?
I would say that by the time I could really throw what was in my head at any sizable lump of clay, it might have been 7 years.
Ah. So 7 years at 20 hours a week practice, or how many hours a week would you say?
At least. I had my own studio at home within a year. I was very lucky at that time because people were buying hand-thrown things for plants or macrame hangers and plants, and so it was easy to sell it. So I wasn't doing and doing and doing with no way of moving it on.
Sure.
And I had my own studio, wheel, kiln, glazes.
Well, you were self-sufficient.
Well, not quite. Potters don't make a lot of money, but by the time I got to toward the end of what I call my career, I guess, I was supporting 3 daughters and myself with a little alimony coming in on the side. Not alimony, child support.
You got rid of the husband?
The husband went away.
Oh.
And that wasn't great income, but I managed, yeah, So,
well, looking back, you must have been pretty proud of yourself to be an actually working artist who supported yourself and your daughters.
Well,
that's
most
a very difficult thing.
Teach. Most ceramics, supplement their work by teaching.
Well, most artists just give up.
Well, some of them give up, but it was important for me to do. I tried a little teaching. I found out that I wasn't really very well cut out for teaching.
Why is that?
Was everyone in the classes that I tried to teach, it wasn't a formal college that I was teaching in an art school or an adult ed school, and I found that most people would want me to salvage the piece that was, they weren't really interested in learning as much as they were in
well, they wanted to produce something and have you finalize the mess they started.
Yeah. And I did like, though, giving workshops when I would come in and I would be the star. So that was
And
that was
do you
fun.
give workshops here?
No. I haven't seriously thrown in 10 years.
And why is that?
Because I'm running a museum.
But is it that that's a phase that's kind of over and you don't really have, since you have thrown so many?
I don't miss it right now. I don't miss it right now. I have to tell you that. But I think someday I intend to go back. My studio's there, my wheel, my kilns, everything is there. Or I could work here.
We have that whole... since you were doing it for so long, did you pretty much do almost as much of the things you wanted to do in pottery, and that's why you don't have the urge?
I don't know. I know that about every 5 to 7 years, I would change my complete style. I would just set everything aside and make new rules for myself. And I did that to make it interesting for myself. So you could say that I had explored a lot of different areas, but ceramics is non-ending. I mean, there's just no bottom to...
Is there some very ambitious artistic aspiration you have in ceramics, but just haven't done it because you're not in that mode? Is there something that you'd still love to do if you ever got in the mood?
Well, I've been invited to do wood firings, and you can't do that in the city. But I know people who have.
What about the city?
Because you have smoke and all from the wood, And so I know people who are out in the countryside who've invited me to come and do a wood firing, and I really would like to do that. I really would like to try that. I don't feature myself as taking up ceramics as a career again. I feel that if I took it up again, it would be more focused on pieces that were satisfying to me. I think I might keep some of my work where along the way I really didn't.
And you didn't because you needed to
needed the
support
money,
yourself
yeah.
and pay the bills and
Yeah.
the never-ending needs of your daughters.
Correct.
And I bet that hasn't stopped either.
Well, yeah, it has.
Oh, well, you're lucky.
My three are 41 and 43 and 45.
Yeah, the one that's 45. She'll be coming to you soon.
No, I don't think so. They're all very self-sufficient, and they all have families, and there's 7 grandchildren.
Wow, that's
And,
great.